This is our content, sponsored by Geographics Media. Peace. What's going on, Jay? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. First of all, I want to just give a little recap. Last episode we talked about instant gratification, but it kind of alluded to how instant gratification puts people in a situation where they have instant regret or irresponsibility, torment, and even sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
When we ended that episode, we started going into how delayed gratification, that slow simmer, is kind of what we like, and we know that is a part of the growing process.
Right.
But before we get in, you know what it is.
I'm a liar, barely feel remorse. I'm a cheater, letting my nature take its course.
Let's go. That's Big J, the artist, aka the Wonder Kid, the Southern Oracle, whatever you want to call him. That's who he is. That's my man. And me, my name is Step, aka Cyncere Wizdumb, the energetic enigma from E-Town. So we're gonna kind of keep the grits theme going. I thought it was a dope acronym, and so when we was talking about delayed gratification, you started talking about some delayed gratification on the last episode, but of course, since we was talking more about instant gratification, we didn't get a chance to really delve into it. But
Right.
this is an episode, man, about what we see as our grits for delayed gratification, meaning delayed gratification is one of those things, in our opinion, that makes us grow as people. It makes us stronger as believers. It's just, and it's long suffering, and it's not suffering. It's just about being patient.
Right.
About being patient to go through what we go through, and we talked about Maslow hierarchy of needs, which is the physiological, the safety and security, the love and belonging, self-esteem and self-actualization. And we talked about how people who seek the instant gratification and would do whatever they have to do to achieve it, in a lot of cases will run game based on those hierarchy of needs to a certain degree, to kind of tug on our empathetic coattails. But you and I and just other people we talk to believe that delayed gratification is one of those things that helps us achieve. It helps us stay driven. It helps us to grow. It helps us to learn. It helps us to build good relationships. It helps us get to our, be successful to a certain degree. And when I say success, I'm not always speaking of anything just money. Today's society thing, a lot of the times look at success as just having all of this doggone loot. But it's so many different ways you can consider yourself successful in certain endeavors. But here we go with this episode's grits, which is gratitude, restraint, intelligence, tenacity, and service. Those 5 things, bro, those 5 things have helped us in so many different ways. And those are the different attributes that a lot of times that we have. And as I alluded to last episode, those people who are seeking that instant gratification would kind of target people like us with our form of grits, our slow cooked grits, in order to get to their instant grits, to make things happen. So I see you smiling real hard. I know what that means, bruh. Run it.
Well, man, honestly, the beautiful thing about the acronym GRITS, gratitude, restraint, intelligence, tenacity, and service, is it actually works in that order.
It
That's
sure
the
does.
beautiful. That's the most beautiful thing and the most ingenious thing about it. And you came up with that, and I got to tell you, man. I don't know if you was praying or reading some scripture or what was going on, but that was real dope. And I got to say, man, it starts with gratitude, because gratitude allows you to reflect on what you have already done, what God has done in your life, and where you are, and just being thankful.
Right.
From the rip, it always has to start from a place of gratitude. We're even taught to pray like that, like to start by thanking
Right.
God for for just being God, and for all the things He's done, who He is in our lives, and what we know Him to be in the lives of other people. And just starting off with gratitude. That's as a parent, I know it's good for children uh, to start with gratitude with their parents, because when you start off with gratitude, when you have a mind of gratitude and acts of gratitude, and verbally letting that be known to your parent,
Right.
parent will want to do anything for you after that, because they say that's the child that is thankful for the things that I've done, and they honor me in that aspect. So it's starting off with gratitude is the absolute best way for you to start any new thing in your life, even if it's not something new. Just be thankful for what you have and where you are. uh Restraint basically just tells you not to rush into anything, because you're thankful for what you have, but you're also we're thankful for the guidance and the opportunities that God presents to us. So we have restraint until we know that it's exactly what He has for us. We hear His voice, we get the message, so to speak. So we're not rushing into anything because we know His timing. We're acknowledging that His timing is far more superior than ours. Intelligence, I can add knowledge and wisdom in there with intelligence, because they all kind of go hand in hand. Uh, because when we practice restraint and we wait on His timing, then He gives us the knowledge and intelligence and wisdom to move forward in the way that He wants us to do it, and in the direction that He wants us to go. Uh, Tenacity, once we got that green light, and we know we're going in the right direction, we gotta go. Put your foot on the gas, and get there. And don't let anything or anybody tell you otherwise, because you've already gotten the instruction. And service, the wonderful thing about that is, when you're getting there, your goal at ultimately should be to serve others. So
Right.
when you practice all of these other things that's on this list, and they all fall in line, gratitude, restraint, intelligence, tenacity, and then when you get to service, it's I've done this. I've arrived. I've achieved uh, what is there for me, what God has for me, and now it is time for me to be of service to others, because I've done some great things, and now it's time for me to give back and to pull someone up, or several people up, plural. So it's such a wonderful acronym, because it just it just makes more sense than almost anything that I've ever seen that anyone has sent me. This right here, gratitude, restraint, intelligence, tenacity, and service, is beyond dope. I can't even, and I'm talking about good dope. I can't even totally put that into words, just how fly, well thought out, and wise uh, this this acronym is, man. So I got to give you props one more time, man. But yeah, that's partially my take on it, bro. It's on
Well,
you.
now and I appreciate that, but it's just something. Both acronyms just kind of just hit me at one time, because I didn't know what I was going to do last episode as far as coming up with a title, and it
Right.
just I just broke it down. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, wait a minute, this works, and then I was able to see, doing editing, hear what we was talking about, and then flip. Well, it can go both ways. So
Mhm.
you got the good side, and I'm not going to say the instant grits is a bad thing, but as I talked about last episode, as we talked about last episode, it's about how people can just use those things to get over, in some cases, to get what they want right now. and
Right.
and we talk a lot about manipulation, how people try to get over, and how people, they just don't care. And that's why I think ultimately they put themselves in a situation where they're irresponsible, because they don't want any accountability in it. And then I don't care how cold someone claims to be, they do eventually feel some sort of way, and they feel tormented and eventually feel sorrow, because a lot of the times they can lose people who actually were good in their lives. But with my take on this one, it's just I have so much gratitude, B, because we're living. We wake up, we're doing this. And I thought back to we've lost so many people that were super cool with us. And these people were young people, and they were driven, and they were trying to get something. So I look at my life within the past 5 years, the stuff that I was planning, none of it none of it came to pass. But stuff that I had postponed, or stuff that I decided I wasn't going to do because it was taking too long, or maybe it took too much, and I just don't have time to do this or have time to do that. Those are the things that I'm doing now, because it's a part of the growth process. It's a part of me using the gift that I have, you using the gifts that you have, and us giving it back to help other people. It's delayed with certain aspects, but at the same time, it's just we have to put the work in order to get it. We have to put the work in order to learn. We have to put the work in order to get stronger and stronger, because the work makes us better instead of just being something that's mediocre. Practice never makes perfect, B, but practice gets you better when you know how to practice. So I have so much gratitude for what God is doing in my life, has done in my life. I have gratitude for the people who have entered my life, but also the people who have exited my life because they needed to go. I have gratitude for those who are still here and pouring into us. I also have gratitude to those who have passed on but left something with us for us to grow on. I have gratitude for having somebody to share my life with, in the form of a spouse, in the form of family, in the form of good friends who are my brothers, who are my sisters. One of the biggest reels that was released after last episode was the gratitude reel, when we was just thanking people for rocking with us. And because, man, it means something, whether we get 4,000 views or 4, we are so appreciative that somebody took time from their life to show us that love. I don't like when we receive comments that are mean, because some people will send mean-spirited comments, seriously. But I still take the time to personally thank those people. People talk about making that cheddar. People talking about getting that cheese. People talking about making that money. But people don't want to talk about the grits that it takes to not only achieve those things, but to maintain those things, to keep those things. And you have to have gratitude for God. You have to have gratitude to the people who actually help you, those who hurt you. Just for everything in this world, we have to give thanks, man, because everything happens for a reason. We just can't beat up on ourselves. Now, as far as restraint is concerned, we've been talking for many episodes, about what the things that people will get up for. Last episode, we talked about it. People will get up for dope. People will get up for food, sex, whatever people will get up for.
Leave that white dog alone.
Sometimes you have to have, a lot of times, you have to have restraint, because certain things are just not good for you. Certain people are just not good for you. You can't carry everybody with you.
Really, Step?
I'm learning, and I read this somewhere not long ago, that it's more room up top than it is at the bottom with everybody else, because everybody's not going to float. But what happens is, when you got people who want that instant gratification, who want what they want, and you become that source, they'll become an anchor. They will doggone hold on to your ankles, and you think you flying because you up a little higher, but you can't figure out why you're not getting any more wind up under you. And because you got people holding you down, holding you back, keeping you away. And we have to have restraint. And when certain people come along and try to bring certain aspects to us that are not good for us, that are not conducive to what God is trying to do in our lives or what we're trying to get accomplished, we have to have restraint. But then again, we have to be strong enough and intelligent enough to cut certain things out, to cut certain things off.
Right.
I am going back to the old Jedi thing where I really, man, don't have any attachments if I can help it. Yeah, we love family. We love our immediate family. We love each other. We love the Geographics crew. We love all of that. But if we ever in a situation where we're trying to pour to people and help people, and people get to the point where their demons sometimes or more, they start, well, I'm not gonna say more than we can handle, but when it comes to a point where it's affecting and taking away from where God is trying to take us, number one, we talked about it, restraint. Number two, hey, you better keep some shears in your pocket, son. Have to cut those ties, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to be intelligent enough to know and discerning. We talk about discernment a lot. We have to be intelligent enough, discerning enough to know when to say when to let go, and when to keep it moving. Man, in our walk in life, bro, I thought about this, and I thank God for this, but most of the people, a hard majority of the people that we have in our lives, not only as a crew, but even our extended crews, we've had very few people that came along that we had to distance ourselves from.
Right.
God has been with us in that. I've only had to cut away a few people, and even people in the crew that do stuff that we don't agree with, or even the stuff that we do that some of them may not agree with. We love each other enough to say it, but we love each other enough to keep each other close, because none of those situations have gotten to a point where it's so outlandish that it affects anybody else. So intelligence is a key part of achieving that success. And my take on tenacity, you're going to run into some trouble sometimes. You're going to run into some hard times. You're going to run into situations where you're going to have to think. You're going to have to try to figure it out. You're going to have to pray on it. You're going to have to stand still to say, hey, what's next? And then, to your point, once you have that answer, once you have that thought in your spirit, then pew, you take off. And regardless of what comes up against you, you do not stop punching. You do not stop running. You do not stop going towards your goal. You start learning how to face those obstacles intelligently and not allow yourself to get distracted. If you don't have restraint, then every little distraction that comes will get your attention and take it off the bigger thing. My take on service: each one teach one. Love on each other. That's the best service in my mind that you can give. Just a good compliment, a handshake, a hug. We had a situation not long ago where this man had no home. This person really needed somebody. He really needed some help. That man was extremely humble. He was extremely nice. He was friendly. You help people like that. He did not one time did he tell us what he needed. Not one time did he try to, launch his form of self-offense to get what he wanted from, not one time. And that's that gratitude that he had towards us for talking to him, and that we had towards him for talking to us about just how beautiful the day is. That appreciation is important. Appreciation didn't fit into the acronym, but you get what I'm saying. It's a part of gratitude. So
Definitely.
Oh yeah, man. It's so much out there, man, where The world has gotten to a point, not the world, but a lot of people in the world have gotten to the point where they don't appreciate anything. They don't have any gratitude. They don't have any restraint. They don't have any intelligence. Tenacity does not even exist, because when they get hard, they quit, and they're not going to do anything for anybody else. It's me, me, me.
Right.
I tip my hat to all of the people who are out there who are just out there trying to get it. They're not trying to get clickbait on the internet to get views, and we've come and just click me, like me, support me, follow me. The algorithm has to like me. It just saddens me, man.
Mhm.
It just saddens me. And I was the person that always said, man, social media, man, please, it ain't my thing. And look at what's going on now. My plan ain't working. But we say stuff that I think resonates in the people who need to hear it. At some point, people who really not checking for us or stumble upon us and say, hey, wow, these guys said something that's meaningful and something
Right.
that makes us grow. And yeah, we can be very comical in it, but it's so much gratitude I cannot express.
Hey, it's Jason Thomas, aka Big J. I just wanted to say thank you all for supporting our content. We put a lot of love and effort into what we do, and I just want to say thank you all who watch us, who support us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Peace.
The level of gratitude that I have for everyone who has done anything for me, who has done anything with me, who has done anything to see something in me to help pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
And for those people who spanked my behind,
Mm-hmm.
physically, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, those people that I wanted to just wring their neck, that years later can walk up to me and say, I told you. This is what I was trying to get you to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
so thank you to all of those people, man. That keeps us going. Man, so if you out there seeking instant grits, we're not mad at you. We're not mad at you at all.
You want to be a boss so bad.
But it's not that simple. It's not that simple. In order for you to achieve anything, in a lot of cases, you better turn that pot down, B. Let it go to a slow boil, a slow simmer,
Because
and get it out there.
when it slow simmers, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Mm,
when it slow simmers, that's when it sticks to your bones and it
word.
lasts you. You might eat it at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and it's still on you at 2 or 3 o'clock. You know, and it'll get you through the day. So that's what that slow cooking. You might even start cooking it the night before.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and get up and eat it in the afternoon the next day. So it might have been slow simmering for a minute, like those pot roast and briskets and all that kind. I don't eat that kind of stuff anymore, but just saying that stuff when you slow cook it stays with you. It gets in your soul, it gets in your spirit, and it becomes a part of you. It's something that and it's crazy because stuff like that you don't even eat it fast. You sit down and you take your time
Oh my
and
God.
you let it marinate in your
Oh my
spirit.
God.
You let people you have people around you. You know, you have a certain level of camaraderie and love and appreciation going on when you slow cook stuff like that. But when it's instant, when you just drive through the drive through and get it, you could probably eat that in the car before you even get home. Because it is what it is. You got it that fast and you ate it that fast. But when you
Right.
slow cook something and whether it's food, whether it's a plan, whether it's a mission, whether it's your purpose, whatever it is, when you slow cook something, I guarantee you, when you get there to that finish line, you're gonna appreciate that thing, bro. For
Yeah.
real.
Some people even
Mhm.
put their phone down, son.
Yeah.
Some people
I
even
know,
put their
right?
phone down. You
That's
because you
serious when you do that, especially
man,
nowadays.
yeah, because you
Yeah.
want to savor it. You want to
Uh-huh.
savor you want to savor the moments, and when it's really good, you would catch some people eating it, man, with their hands. They just dipping, they
Hey,
eating it with
hey.
their bruh. That
Yeah.
is something about it. Slow and steady, man. It wins
Uh-huh.
the race every time when it's slow and it's
Yeah.
steady. It is good. It had an opportunity to when it's cooking slow, when it's that incubation period, bruh. It's something
Mm-hmm.
about it, bro. It's something about it.
Hey.
That's why, again, our plans, we talk about it all the time. We talk about the beat making. We talk about the people that we met. A lot of the people that we come across in our lifetime. Some of them are major stars now, and we were on the same mission back then, but it wasn't what was for us.
Right.
It is. I really think about it a lot, actually, but we're where we are. We talked
Right.
about it on the episode. You said, "Hey, man, had that happened, this would have happened. This would have
Yeah.
happened." So you always say we want to be ready for it, and we debate about it, but that's slow and steady. I look at how many times I was talked out of doing this years ago, but it was just something
Right.
that was in me. So I said, "Hey, man, when I saw the opportunity for us to do it, let's do it." Um, but that's slow simmer because we still learning. We still learning. There's not a time, bro, that this might get hot and I'm not nervous. But I had to learn not to be a slave to the algorithm, not to be a slave to what
Right.
society is saying out there. But I had to learn how to show and express gratitude for all of the people. If you're not checking for us, it's not time for you to check for us yet. And yeah, I have to restrain myself. We have to restrain from becoming those people on with a podcast that it's so easy, man, to do what everyone else is doing. It's much easier for us to plug the mic in and go after somebody.
Right.
It's so easy for us to plug the mic in and tell you what men want, what women need, but we can't speak for
Yeah.
every man and every woman. So why do that? It's
Right.
easy for us to plug in and inform content that divides people instead of uniting people. As entrepreneurs or working for somebody, it takes a lot of restraint to not sell out what you know you need to do. I cannot. I will not. I see a lot of stuff. It bugs me out.
Mm-hmm.
But that person has to get to a point where they realize, hey, I'm not helping anybody. That's real. We it takes so much restraint because we have thousands of people who look at this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of people who look at this
Yep.
stuff.
Yes,
And it's
sir.
if we get to a point, if anybody gets to a point where that becomes the that instant gratification, man, oh, I got 4,000 views. So let me pander to this. Let me pander to that. It's a dangerous thing, man.
What do you want?
And what we say and what we do, it affects so many people. We have to have intelligence, restraint. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have did that. Why did I talk about this person? I'm hurting this person's family. I'm hurting this person's
Mm-hmm.
whatever he got going on, whatever she got going on. We just hurt that person. It's not up to us to do that. That irresponsibility not only it affects everybody outside of us.
Right.
So I don't want to feel tormented because I hurt somebody, or feel a deep sorrow because whatever happened to somebody is my fault. I can't do that. There is a responsibility for us to be intelligent on not only this, but any platform that we touch. And so many doors are opening because of that positive energy. And we
Yes, sir.
just, I hope that,
Sure.
I pray that, but I believe that so many
Right.
things are gonna unfold. But
Uh-huh.
like you always tell me, you gotta be consistent, B. You
Yeah.
gotta be consistent, B. Oh
You're
my
right.
goodness, man. Oh my goodness, man. Grits. Those cheese grits, that comfort
Oh,
food, bro.
man, you know what's crazy is that when you get through all the steps, GRITS, the servitude, you slow cooked it for so long, you made it, and now you just passing out plates, bro.
Word. That's true.
Yeah, and you know what? When you do that, when we do that, when you out there do that, guess what? It begins the cycle in someone else's life because
Right.
they start off with gratitude. Thank you for giving me this. Thank you for that. I know you slow cook this. I can taste it. You know, and it sets them on their path to do the same thing for someone else,
Right.
bro.
Right. Right. You man, it it's time, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
time for it's time for all of the people out there with positive energy. It's time for all of the people out there with the gratitude, restraint, the intelligence, the tenacity, and this and that the element of service to come together and just
Mm-hmm.
reach people, man. It's time. It
Mm-hmm.
is it is time. I'm sick. The world is so this, the world is so that. People are so cruel. People are so mean. People allow people allow people to do certain things, and once you get to a point, once we get to a point where we're able to just reach those people who have a sense of we're seeking
Mm-hmm.
we're seeking those slow cooked grits.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
we want. That's what
yeah.
we need. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
biggest mentees you can ever have. And the thing
Right.
about it, I realized that as many people as I've mentored in my life, I still have people that come along to mentor me.
Mm-hmm.
Some in our peer group, some older, but we need that. It takes that because at every level of growth, you have to have someone to spot you. I'm bench
Mm-hmm.
pressing 135 today. Next week, I'm trying to do 185. I need
Right.
somebody who's on that level to help me until I get stronger,
Right.
and then up, and then up, and then up.
Right.
We run into a problem where people come and say, "Hey, I want to work out too," but then they never show up to the gym.
Right.
And then
Right.
call you and ask you to give them some money so they can buy some protein powder.
Man, that protein powder ain't nothing but some dope.
You gotta have restraint. You gotta have restraint, man. Whatever you getting up for, stop and cover. Let's work out. You're not gonna get stronger until you do it. I mean, goodness, man. It just hit me so hard. It hit me so hard in my spirit with the grits thing.
Yeah.
Dory said it. Dory said, "You really on these grits right now?" Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Because
Yeah.
that positive energy, man, when God is in it. See,
Right. 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 Hey man.
oh my goodness. Oh man, I'm glad we had. I'm glad we had this episode though.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Me.
something that needed to be had, man. It's something that needed to be had. It's something that needed to be said because it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just time, man. It's time for all of the it's time for all of the excuses to go. It's time for people to stop having regrets. It's time for people to stop being irresponsible or stop tormenting themselves or having sorrow. When you feel that way, it's time for you to make a change to
Right.
something positive so you can actually sleep at night. So you
Right.
don't have to worry about who to lie to next, who and once you get into that slow simmer, while you in that incubation period, while you're growing, while you're developing,
Right.
you'll find
Yeah.
that you begin to have so much confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you feel the love and belonging. That's when you feel the safety and security. That's when your physiological needs you don't worry about because you know
Right.
that you it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say this story, then I'm dipping. You know the story that I learned that I love to tell, Jay.
What's that?
Remember when we were in Mars and we were looking at the SB12 Music days, those music days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? And I love telling this story. I don't even know. I hope you remember. Do you remember that this homeless man came into that store and everybody was trying to put him out? And he went and he sat down at that grand piano and played that Mozart concerto. You remember that?
Yeah, that was dope.
And you and I talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch X, all of us, Joe, all of us talked about it. And I remember you saying that dude probably was a concert pianist, African-American dude. And, you were thinking, you said, hey, this guy probably went to Juilliard. And just the stuff that we came up with, because we had never seen that before.
Right.
But you never know someone's story.
Story, right. Yeah.
I've learned so much from those people who tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
And they use their story to mentor somebody like me and say, hey, don't do this. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fall into this situation. Don't fall into that situation. But whatever you do, you're going to continue to love. And a lot of those people who are on the up and up have so much love in their hearts, bro. It's amazing to me. That's why I can sit on this mic when it get hot and stand up and say, hey, stop trying to run game. Stop trying to, this instant gratification thing that you do simply boils down to your being lazy and not anything else going on. If it's something else going on, hey, I'll be the first person there with you. But once I figure out that you taking my kindness for weakness and just trying to use me, and this is my one, but because of our spiritual police, people quick to be like, oh, I thought you was a believer. You supposed to do this and that. I don't like you for doing that. I don't hate you, but that's not right. That's not cool. So, it's people like the music store concert pianist that made me realize how life, man, we have to have so much gratitude and thank everybody or just have gratitude for every little thing, man, because in the blink of an eye, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. So, bruh, you got anything else?
Hey, man. I think that's it. I think that's it, bro.
I've been trying not to be emotional on these episodes, but the last few episodes, I went bad this episode. These other episodes, I've been just going ham for no reason. But I mean, again, bro, we just like to thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, I love you, man, and I appreciate you so much for always being there.
I love you too, man, and I wouldn't want to do this with anybody but you, man, because it started with us. You know that too.
Yeah.
It started with us. But hey, man, all I can say is from gratitude to servitude, man.
Oh,
that's the journey. That's the journey, and everything in between is a lesson in and of itself. Is character building, and it puts us in the right frame of mind to be of service to others when we get there. And if we don't start off thankful, there's no way you're going to end with a servant's heart. And that's the journey that I wish for everyone. We on ours, but I wish that for everyone out there. Once again, thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Hey, our content podcast, baby.
hey, man, and in the words of Cujo Goody, man, God don't care if you got a spade or not. Ain't no turning in your playing hand. You better tighten up your belt, man. Hey, you better tighten it up, bro, and get out there, be thankful, and go get it.
Yeah.
Look, as always, keep God first.
Mm-hmm.
Love each other, serve each other, and we will catch y'all the next go around. Peace.